Hello, 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 everybody. Mikey and I are back yet again, and we have the ambassador of joy. Literally, the ambassador of joy. Who better than have on our summit than the ambassador himself? Mikey, you know our guest better than I do, so I want you to have the honor of introducing him.
Well, yeah, this guy's incredible. He brings joy to so many people's lives. Like Julia said, he's the ambassador of joy, but he also started the Keep Smiling movement, and we're so fond of them. He also stems from a tragic incident that happened to him when he was younger, and he lived through it, and he's nothing but positivity and perseverance and prayer and love. And he's here to talk all about all that with us. So without further ado, Barry, how are you?
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Now, Julie and Mikey, how can I say that everybody, all these hundreds of thousands of people around the world are by definition good-looking? Because if you've tuned in to what we're presenting today, by definition, you are always looking for and finding the good. That's a good-looking person, right? Looking for and finding the good. We're talking about the inside moving to the outside and radiating joy to the world. So thank you for enabling me to be with you today, because you, Julianne and Mikey, special beings.
Thank you so much. We think the same of you. That's why you're here. So
we belong to a mutual admiration society. My baby me, I'm older. You don't remember the song. That's okay.
So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Oh my gosh. Well, you already said so many wonderful things because my mother gave you the script to read. So I'll add a couple little pieces. So first of all, Mikey asked me, how am I doing? I am doing so well that if you put it in a bottle and sniff it, you'd be happy for a year. Now, how did that come about? Well, simple. Let's just go back to something that will impress and shock people. I mean, impress in the good, positive sense. September 17th, 2004, which is coming up, by the way, in another September 17th, just another month or so, right? Will be the 16th anniversary. I was standing up in the morning, Julianne and Mikey, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, faster than a speeding bullet. That evening, I was in the hospital, paralyzed from my neck down, completely, totally paralyzed. It was not from an automobile accident. It was not a spinal injury, a very rare disease I never heard of before in my life. Before that day, took over my body and rendered me completely, totally unable to move. I was in the hospital for over 144 days. I was in a hospital bed in my own home for 2 years. I couldn't turn over by myself. I was in a wheelchair for 4 years. My hands don't even close still. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles for a year and a half, and that was progress. Now, today I am vertical ambulatory, albeit with the help of a 6.5-foot walking wand made for me by a Zen master. So I'm a triped, I'm not a biped, but I still can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice, positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. And it's all based on one word. All based on one word. What's that word?
Joy.
Smile.
Smile, duh.
Smile.
Yay.
Because we're going to do a lot of acronyms today. I just love the energy of these two beings, by the way. Everybody, what you've been doing in this marathon is so important. We are tipping the balance in the world. See, right now we're in the 2020, in the summertime. So for decades from now, people will be listening to this show, maybe even a century from now, saying, wait, what was going on 2020 in the summer? Let me listen to that show with Julianne, Mikey, and Barry. What were they talking about? Joy in the midst of the pandemic? Yes, because the pandemic around the world is a mental one. We know that by internalizing and utilizing and leveraging this ability to smile and to live in joy, we make a difference. We can go mad. That's really what this is about, going mad, making a difference. So what does SMILE stand for? Stands for, ready? Drum roll, fanfare, da-da, da-da! Seeing miracles in life every day. Seeing miracles in life every day. Simple example. 1 million plus people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. Now, everybody watching, by definition, you didn't. Hello, celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music, right? And if you can't dance, at least move. So you got out of bed, right? That's wonderful. Now, also, because of the pandemic, millions of people can't get out of bed. They're infirm. But I'm trusting that 99.99% of everybody watching this can't get out of bed. If you can, celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music. Now, people say to me, Barry Shore, I've been up for hours already. I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you see? Can you walk? Can you stand? Do you have water to drink? Do you have food to eat? Do you have a place to sleep? Do you have family? Do you have friends? Every one of those is a miracle, right? And the ability to see it, experience it, and live it, and then share it with other people. SHARE is a great acronym, Julianne and Mikey. SHARE stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy.
Love it.
Oh, by the way, you know what WOW stands for? You're going to love this. WOW stands for words of wisdom or words of wonder. How cool is that, huh?
Good.
Digging it?
I love
I
it.
gotta just tell you a quick story. A couple of weeks ago, you'll love this, Mikey. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me. She says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile, S-M-I-E-L? And I thought about it, said smile, smile. It sounds the same. Why not? I asked her, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life.
Wow, I love
From
it.
the mouth of an 8-year-old, seeing miracles in everyday life. We're seeing miracles in life every day because that's the essence of living successfully. How do I know? The Bible tells me so. Okay, we won't go to that particular rule, but the point is that the energy that we bring to our life, and life is a great acronym, by the way, living inspirationally for eternity. Everybody's life is based on that. When you do something, you think about this, you're living inspirationally for eternity. You're not just saying to somebody, hey, you look good today. Great job. That was wonderful. You're making a difference in the world. If I may, in this, for Barry Shore, I live with the world, and when I am asked to speak, which thank God, I'm humbled and honored that you have me here today. I talk about the 3 fundamentals in life. The 3 fundamentals are number one, life. Your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number 2 happens. The result of being purpose-driven is that you can go mad. Julianne, you can go mad. Now, MAD in this case is a great acronym because it stands for go make a difference. When you live in a purpose-driven world, you're making a difference, right, Mikey?
Right, absolutely.
Word comes out. This is where it gets fun. And we'll talk about FU, everybody. I'm going to talk. I use the FU word, the full letter word, but just get ready. You unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Now, we've done a few already, like smile, right? But here's a great one, WWW. Okay, ask anybody, Julianne, what does WWW stand for? Invariably, they'll tell you it has something to do with the internet, right? And factually speaking, they're correct. But in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, WWW stands for, Mikey does this better, drum roll, fanfare, da-dun, da-da. Yeah, get ready for the next one, Mikey. Da-dun, da-da. WWW stands for, oh, we can't hear it. He's a musician. WWW stands for, what a wonderful world. So whenever you see WWW from now on, or you hear it, right away you're going to say, well, Barry Shore's in my head. Get out of here. What a wonderful world. But it's not me. It's Satchmo, Louis Armstrong, for making that song go viral and touch not just millions, not tens of millions, 100 billions of people around the planet, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you hear the opening bars of that song, what do you do right away? What a wonderful, you smile. And smile means seeing miracles in life every day, right? So it plays upon itself. It's like composing music, Mikey, right? You know, opening bars, and then the side person, this person on the bass goes boom, 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 and then the drummer comes in, and then a little bit of vocals, and now you have harmony in life, because that's really what we're about, isn't it? We're here to learn the most about you. See, this show, by the way, had nothing to do with Barry Shore, has something to do with not as much as Julianne, doesn't have anything to do with Mikey. You know what it has to do with? You, everybody watching. This show, this meeting is only about you. EWEYOU. It's about you becoming the best you possible, because when you are, you make more harmony, you build bridges, you bring more life into the world. Am I correct on that?
Absolutely.
That's why we're here. We're here for you. And when you join in all together, we're holding hands, either Zoomingly or presumingly, yes, or we're sharing hugs, virtually or otherwise, it doesn't matter. See, social distancing, by the way, is an incorrect term. It's really two parts. We want social connection, maybe physical distancing. We want more social connection, because that's what's going to cure the pandemic, right?
Absolutely.
So let me share something with you, if I may. And remember, SHARE stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. So the second most searched for word on the internet right now, tens and tens of millions of searches, is not COVID and it's not pandemic. The word that everybody's searching is stress. Am I right? Stress.
Absolutely.
Everybody is under it, with it, stress, it's here. What do we do about it? Well, that's what this meeting today is all about. I'm going to share with you 4 words, and then we'll go a little deeper. You ready? The 4 words are: stress kills, joy heals. Everybody knows that stress kills. I mean, stress is responsible for high blood pressure, heart issues, obesity, anxiety, skin ailments, diabetes, depression, sleeplessness, gastrointestinal problems. Stress is the hub of the wheel. All those other things are products of stress. If we can reduce, mitigate, maybe even eliminate stress, you'll be happier, healthier, and wiser. And that's why we're having the show today. The show is all about becoming healthier, wealthier, and wiser. By the way, Jack Canfield, the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul series, said to me, "Hey, Barry, who doesn't want that?" When I was telling him about it. You'll be happier, you'll be healthier, wealthier, and wiser by working with Julianne, Mikey, and myself today. So let's talk about stress and how to reduce it, mitigate, eliminate. You ready, kids?
Yeah.
Ready.
So stress is an acronym. I love acronyms because they enable people to remember things. Remember, go mad means go make a difference. Joy, by the way, stands for generating ongoing youth. Because when you're joyful, you're going to look like Julianne all the time. Yeah, I don't care if you're 107. Now, by the way, I'd rather look like Julianne than me. Look at that. And Mikey would rather look like, I mean, no offense to Mikey or me, but Julianne is certainly a lot prettier to look at than we are, right? So the point is, though, generating ongoing youth, that's what joy does. So let's take a look at stress. Stress is an acronym. It stands for stomach turning reality, situation, enabling self-sabotage. Because that's what stress does. Stomach turning reality. I lost my home, I lost my wife, this, it's all, right? Enabling self-sabotage. Do you know what happened? Don't you understand? Pity party, all kinds of stuff. Okay, real stuff. Remember, stomach turning reality. Let's take a look at the other definition of acronym for stress. Ready? Stomach turning reality, same situation, enabling self-success. Self-success. Okay, it's a tough gig. I did lose my job. My wife is not happy right now. There's something wrong. There's all kinds of difficulties. What do I do? How do I respond? Not react. How do I respond in the most positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant way possible? That enables self-success. See, trauma and toxins are negative.
Mhm.
Overcoming trauma becomes positive.
Mhm.
When you can get through trauma, hey, I told you, I was paralyzed.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to show you something, Julianne and Mikey. You ready for this?
So
You
ready?
see my hands moving, so I can move my hands. You see my neck. I'm going to sit up from this chair and sit down so quickly you won't even be able to see it. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. How was that? I stood up and sat down. Couldn't even see it. It's so fast, right? You know why? Because I still can't sit up 16 years later. I can't get up from this chair by myself. I can push on the arms and get it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing because for years I couldn't even do that, right? So remember.
What were you telling yourself when you first, got paralyzed and to get like even to the next step? What were you telling yourself?
So this is so important. Mikey is honing in. Remember we said stress. I had stress. Stomach turning reality, paralyzed, enabling either self-sabotage or self-success. Where am I going to go? So wonderful, Mikey. Thank you for the opportunity.
Sure.
Self, again, I use words for myself. I've been working with this for decades. Even before I had the situation, we had begun the Keep Smiling movement about 5 years prior to me becoming paralyzed. So I already had a positive pipeline, as it were, of building up. And we'll talk about the Keep Smiling movement in just a moment. I may even have the card here to share with everybody. Yes, let me just pick one up and we'll titillate people. Oh, can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we know you have it in other languages too.
27 languages. Millions of these little puppies have been given all over the world for free. So I want to answer Mikey's question. So self, to me, has two aspects to it. Remember I talked about stress or stress. Self, there's a lower self and a higher self. I mean, we're believers, right? So we know about the understanding, we think about higher self and the lower self. Lower self is the following: physically oriented. It stands for seeking excitement, losing focus. Because hey,
accurate.
we're going to do the next shiny object, You know, what's going on? What did you do today? Seeking excitement, losing focus, right? Now, if you have a goal and you're focused on the goal, then you're going to say to certain things, no. Okay, now you're moving into what we call the higher self. The higher self stands for acknowledging you are a soul experiencing life fully. Now, as a soul, that means I am part of the creator. And when you do that, now you are infinite, you're immortal, you make a difference in life, you're mad. I went mad, I was paralyzed and went mad. And mad stands to make a difference. So it's part of the self-talk, Mikey. So I was able to begin to work more and more with the higher self. And then I coined this phrase. Self-talk stands for a soul experiencing life fully. And talk stands for, Julianne, you're going to love this. Get ready, kid. Teaching always love and kindness.
I love that.
Yes, that's beautiful.
Teaching always love and kindness. Here's a simple example. Julianne, you have a friend who's going through some really tough times, right? She comes over to you, sits down, pours her heart out, she's crying, all kinds of stuff. Are you going to say now, hey, man up or woman up, and get tough and let's go in and get up? You're going to hug her, either virtually or, in words, and you're going to listen. You're going to be empathetic because you care about her and you want to give the best possible advice. It needs to be looked at and give a girl advice. You're not just going to say, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. That's not reality. Maybe there is reason to be concerned, but the point is you're going to speak to her lovingly, kindly, and empathetically. Am I correct?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Guess what happens when we talk to ourselves usually?
Bully. I can be my own worst bully.
You are. You're not alone, Julianne. I do this. I help thousands of tens of thousands of people, thank God. The worst bully, your biggest enemy, is yourself, your lower self. You don't talk to yourself with love and kindness. Now I'm talking about, hey, you know something? You just lost $800,000 in a poker game and you're in debt, or you said something stupid to your wife, or you hit your kids. I mean, you did something dumb. You don't go around there, you look at your, no. You can look at the situation, self-sabotage, self-success. We're talking about situations in life where it's necessary to make sure that you speak to yourself with love and kindness always, because you're going to be able to nurse that being, the sensitive being, into becoming a superstar. Mm-hmm. You are a superstar. You just said you're a self, you're a soul. By definition, you're part of God. God, yes, infinite, loving, the solar system, all the stuff out there, you're part of it, just like that. So what happens is when we begin to learn how to speak with ourselves and treat ourselves as we would our best friend, guess what? The 70% of stuff that is out there in the negative situation by the mainstream media and all the stuff online and things, most of it, an overwhelming majority, tends toward the negative. Yeah. Why? Because that's what they're oriented to, because they know it hooks you. It's, remember, it's exciting. It's let's focus. Hey, click this, click that, clickbait they call it, right? We're here to be able to work with ourselves, look at ourselves and say, I choose a certain thing. I'm going to share with everybody 6 words. These 6 words, if you hear nothing else, I think these 6 words could be worth everything. Ready?
So ready.
Choice, not chance, determines your destiny.
Yes, that is so beautiful and well said. Oh my goodness.
Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. By the way, I should have promised in the beginning, there's going to be at least one aha moment in the course of our Zoom call, and 2 practical tips and tools that people will be using for the rest of their lives. You hear that? Rest of their lives. Matter of fact, let me give one right now. May I do that? Okay, so we had one, I think we already had an aha moment, maybe 2 of them, but the aha moment we just had was 6 words. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. You own that. Own it. Love it. Internalize it. Utilize it. Leverage it. Yeah. Okay. We're going to share something now that if you use these 2 words, these are the 2 most powerful words in the English language. If you begin to use these 2 words 3 times a day, I can't put 3 up, my fingers don't work still. 3 times, okay, Mikey, put up 3, please.
Oh, 3.
3.
I can't do that either.
Okay, Mikey's putting up 3. Use these 3 words, use these 2 words 3 times a day for the rest of your life. You will change you and the world. The world. And what are these 2 words? You ready? Drum roll. Fanfare. Da-da, da-da. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because thanks stands for to harmonize and network kindness. To harmonize and network kindness. The Dalai Lama has been quoted as saying, I read in his writings, be kind whenever possible. And it's always possible. So let's think about this. When we're able, thank God, to go back to coffee shops en masse, and you go to the coffee shop and you order your fancy latte for $5.50, you go sit down, they bring it to you, you say, thank you. You go to the coffee shop, you order a fancy latte, and nobody brings it to you for a few minutes. You go to the counter, you ask what happened, they say, oh, I'm sorry, we forgot, busy, we'll bring it to you. A couple more minutes go by, somebody brings it to you, you say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out. Somebody holds the door open for you, what do you say?
Thank you.
You're walking out of the coffee shop and it's raining and somebody slams the door on you. What do you say?
Thank you.
Thank you. You're stuck in traffic and you're late for an appointment. Somebody cuts you off. What do you say?
Thank you.
Thank you. You get up in the middle of the night and you stub your toe and it hurts. You say,
thank you.
Thank you. To harmonize and network kindness. 3 times a day. That's all. Consciously and conscientiously, you say thank you 3 times a day, consciously, you will change you, and you will change all the people around you, and by definition, the world.
I feel that already. I mean, so you believe in creating a collaborative consciousness and changing society, right?
Yeah, so let's listen to what Mikey just said. He said the 3 C's, creating a collaborative consciousness. Mikey, I love it, 3 C's. CREATE happens to be one of my favorite acronyms. It stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Because look, we all have a brain, right? The brain has about 100 billion brain cells. And we have about 800 to 900 trillion synapses connecting all the brain cells. And they're there for more than deciding what kind of latte you want this morning, right? We're here to create this collaborative consciousness that Mikey Cohen, Mikey Cares, another C, just talked to us about. Because that's what this is. One of the geniuses and benefits of the COVID problem and the lockdown and the quarantine is that we are doing, in some level, more social interaction virtually. So right now, I would be willing to say that there'll probably be at least 100,000+ people who will watch this particular video over the next week or so, right? At least.
Yeah.
And we're asking, Julianne and Mikey and I are asking you to not just watch it, but to share it. And just share it with 5 people. Not 10, not 20, not, oh, I'd have to share with 100. Share it with 5 people. If everybody is watching shares with 5 people, we're going to touch 500,000 people in the next few weeks, right? That's the key. Absolutely. 5 people. You all know 5 people you love. Share, remember, spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. So Mikey touched on this remarkable idea of creating collaborative consciousness. That's what CREATE stands for. I'm going to interrupt myself, and then I'm going to talk about the Keep Smiling movement. So I want to interrupt myself and make mention, because Julianne says, yes, do it, do it, do it. I'll do it a couple times. I am offering a free gift. It's a $50 value. It's a free gift to anybody who sends an email. Shall I send it to you or to me? What should we do? What email address?
We'll figure that out and put it in the email that we send out.
Okay, great. So they'll figure it out, but just send the email and say free gift, and we will send you it. It's worth it. We sell it for $50, but it's worth 100 times more than that. Wait till you see it. It's a great video, and it's just so wonderful. It's our gift because Mikey said it. We're creating a collaborative consciousness. So let's talk about that in the sense of the following. Your humble being here, Barry Shore, I use a lot of 4-letter words. It's true. And I even use the 4-letter FU word. And I do it because it's fun. And then I do it for the shock value, Julianne. You ready? So the 4-letter words that we use, though, because we're in the positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant mode, the 4-letter words we use are live, love, life, grow, help, holy, free. And everybody can think of many more 4-letter words that you use. Those are the kind of 4-letter words we like, right? And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun. But Mr. Shore, fun is 4 letters. Not in our world, the world of positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. Yes, F-U. So when you see your friends and family after this wonderful, amazing, collaborative, conscious meeting, and you have a smile on your face, remember what that stands for. You poke your fun, you say, F you, everybody. Remember to add right away, capital N, capital A. So where'd you hear that? I heard that from Barry Shore. He was with Julianne and Mikey. You know, they're good people. And I heard it must be true. F you, everybody. Capital N, capital N. And use 4-letter words. So let's talk a little bit about this again. Keep smiling. Okay.
And I see the double N on there.
Yeah, well, you saw that.
Yep.
By the way, invariably when people get the card, they say, what is that? God, you don't know how to spell it. Hey, you got to learn. Go to FU. We have thousands of people walking around to people that FU, everybody. Capital N, capital N. So the Keep Smiling movement started with one card. and more than 2 million have been given out already. You ready for this? So I think it was 2001 or the end of 2000. I get a card in the mail. It wasn't plasticized and like this now. It was just paper and had the words "Keep Smiling" on the front, and on the back it had a paragraph, or paragraph, 5 sentences about something called the, like you see here, it's called the value of a smile. So this was sent to me in the mail by a friend of mine, happens to be a rabbi from New York. Can you imagine a rabbi in New York?
No, never.
Hard to find one. So the rabbi in New York sends me this card in the mail, and I got it and I loved it. I said, that's really cool. So I called him up. I said, do you mind if I make copies of it and give them out? And he started laughing on the phone. He said, hello, that's why I sent it to you. I was hoping you'd say that. Okay. So I went to my friend who's a printer, and I asked, Danny, can you print up 100 of these? He said, okay, yeah, fine. How much should it pay? Prints up 100. And you ready for this, kids? 6 days later, all gone. I gave out 100 of these Keep Smiling cards because not only did people, when I gave it to them, I said, that's cool. May I have another 1 or 2 to give out? So all gone. So I went back to Danny and said, okay, Danny, let's do 1,000. Why not, right? I figured 1,000, it's going to take a while. So printed up 1,000 and we started giving them out. And now I say we, because I had a couple people who said, hey, give me 50 or give me 20. Just started giving them out. Within less, I think it was 88 days, 1,000 cards gone. Yeah, so we knew we had touched something. This is, again, 2001. As Mikey says, we were beginning this collaborative, creative consciousness that were touching people because they had, now that's a cool card, keep smiling. And in the back, the message, and they asked for more. And we started this whole movement with the idea of, I gave somebody one, I asked them, like, Julianne, I gave you a card. And you said, that's cool. I asked you, Julianne, do you have somebody you love? And you say, yeah, of course. I said, great. Give the card I just give you to somebody you love. So now you did. And I say, now that you've given, you can receive. So it's not that you gave one afterwards. The one you received, you give first, and now you can receive another one, right? Okay. So we started doing this. So I went back to Danny because we gave him away in 88 days. I said, okay, Danny, 10,000. I'm in. 10,000. Okay, it costs a little bit of money. Who cares? We're spreading joy, happiness, peace, and love. 10,000 cards, had boxes full of these things. And in addition to giving them out, a friend of mine came forward and she said, I would like to build a website for you. 2000 and maybe 2002, at the end of 2001, 2002. By the way, you know, just after 9/11 and I mean stuff. So she said, I love this. Let me build a website. I'm not charging you, let me build a website. Okay, hey, let's do it. You know, by the way, even in 2001, websites were still sort of hip and new and all that kind of stuff. I mean, Julianne wasn't even just about born then. Mikey was only 3 years old, just getting out of diapers. So the good news is that the site went up. It's called thedailysmile.com. Still exists today. People use it. People by the thousands go to the site. Matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, we're running a program right now. We're giving away $5,000 in prizes to people who go to the website and you send 5 Keep Smiling cards for free. It's all electronic for free to 5 friends. You're automatically entered into the contest. So we have some people who do 10 a day, 20 a day, whatever it is. But we get lots of people sending cards to friends. And in addition to the 27 languages, by the way, we just did one more today. We just did Greek. So we're going to get to 28. There are many other great messages like everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. That's the front. And on the back, it reads, be kind always. Great card. Okay, so the point is now, print up 10,000. Somebody said I'm building a website. I have now, I think it was about 11 or 12 people around the country give me 100 every month, this and that. And wow, 10,000 cards went, zhoop. I said, okay, Danny, we're in 100,000. Printed 100,000 cards. Now that's a lot, by the way, because it actually costs money to print and we give them away for free. Even the physical cards, all I have to do is pay for shipping. We give them away and did 100,000 cards. Wow. And now we're beginning to have a movement. We never look back because now we just passed 2 million 2 million is not a small number. And I would like to say that with Julianne and Mikey, with what they do and how they know how to do social media, we will have, God willing, another 1 million cards in the next 6 months because we're promoting. Again, go to the site, thedailysmile.com, or go to barryshore.com. Yes, www, what does that stand for? What a wonderful world. barryshore.com. And you look at the site, it's a great site anyway. And then click on the Keep Smiling and see all the famous people who've had the cards. Who cares about famous people? I care only about you. And then click and say, send cards for free or order cards for free. It's just, it's so good. It's so pure. It's so wonderful. Start giving them out because again, it's the process. Mikey nailed it. The 3 C's: creative, collaborative, consciousness. Creative, collaborative consciousness. This is
to raise your frequency, your vibration, so that
everybody's,
everybody, yeah.
Look, Mikey is so on. You want to hear a great 4-letter word is love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the acronym for love is living on vibrant energy.
Ooh.
Living on the vibrational plane. Mikey just said it. It's raising the vibration, right? What's the vibe? The vibe is love.
You're raising. It's so nice to have someone like you that raises the vibration, that knows frequency and knows like how to change everyone's perception of everything. It's
we're in harmony, kid. We're working together.
Really refreshing.
You are so sweet. I urge, by the way, people, if you would like to, and I think everybody would like to, there's an amazing video that I did that is, I think it's 2 minutes long or 3 minutes maximum. Not, you know, listen to me more than that. But the video it's on the barryshore.com website, I think towards the bottom, and it's called, you ready for this, Julianne?
Ready.
55 seconds to becoming a joy generator.
Ooh.
I have taught, thank God, thousands of people how to become a joy generator in 55 seconds. If you can't spare 55 seconds of your life, sometime during the day, to generate joy to family, friends, and all living beings on the planet, then we have not succeeded in what we're doing. We urge everybody, learn how to be a joy generator, 55 seconds. That's it. Once a day at least. I have to do it twice. I urge people that work with me to do it twice, but you do it once a day. We're, like Mikey said, we're elevating the frequency, the vibration. And when people are living on the vibrational plane, then everything is possible, right? Everything is possible. The pandemic is in here. Yes, people are ill. There's no question. It's a difficult situation. But the panic comes from here when we can live in love, not in fear. And we can change the vibration and heal people around the planet almost immediately. By the way, health. Health is a great acronym. You ready?
Yep.
Health stands for helping everyone achieve life through happiness.
I love it. I'm gonna ask a question. You are obviously very genuine and very happy and joyous and a pleasure to be around. But I'm guessing that you haven't always been like that. Was it a gradual process for you to become more and more joyful, or was it just like, you know what? This is who I'm going to be.
Julianne, you are so insightful, and it happened when I was 13 years old. Yes, I made a decision, choice, not chance. Determined. I made a decision at the age of 13, and I'll tell you a story why, to live, I didn't articulate it that way. I didn't say joy, which becomes my handle, but I understood a little bit about living in happily or as opposed to sad. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to live exuberantly. I love words, and I happened to be, at the time, I was studying both English, Latin, and Hebrew.
That's grateful.
I was a weird, interesting kid. But the point is here, Here's the background. How could I be this way? I was very fortunate. I had something special in my life. I have, first of all, two loving parents, and I have two wonderful younger sisters. My mother was born with a red wine stain over 3/4 of her face.
Mm.
And it was a bit pockmarked. Now, this is the year 2020. Can you imagine? So my mother would be now, I think, almost 100 years old. Can you imagine back 100 years ago when kids were less, how should we say it, friendly than they are today? You know, even in schools today, there's all this whole thing about bullying, right? But back then, kids were kids. And she had a red wine stain on. She stood out. She was different. You didn't. As she grew older, she was able to cover it a little with pancake makeup and things like that, which people don't wear anymore, things like that. But here's where it gets amazing. We met growing up. We met friends of my mother from her high school days, and we asked. My mother made a decision when she was a kid. She wasn't going to get through it. It wasn't that she was going to live with it. She just decided to say, "Hey, I'm me. I'm Frances Ida Goldstein. Sure. So what do you want from me? You know, I'm happy. What do you want?" People made fun of her, threw things at. So that's their problem. In high school, she was one of those beings that beamed. So she got married. My father happens to be a very good-looking man. Married my mother because, you know, personality just sort of trumps everything when you really get down to it. Has 3 kids, and she was always this image of, hello, life is wonderful. What's going on, son? And she loved me. I'm firstborn son in a Jewish family. Oh, hello. Talk about privilege. Yes, I have it in a loving, warm environment. And I was always encouraged by my mother. And we never saw my mother as, oh, a woman with a red wine stain covered. It's my mother. You know, we would sing, we would do things. She's a great baker. I'm going to tell you a story about my mother. May I? And I have to tell the story because I'm crying and I'm happy at the same time. And it happened to be that a friend of mine sent me something the other day. This interesting guy, he posts every day as National Something Day, you know, Belgian waffles or whatever. So
Ice cream.
actually, yeah, not just ice cream, special flavors. There's chocolate, there's vanilla, there's rum raisin. Okay. So you're gonna love this. It was on Sunday, Julianne, and he posted, it was National Sponge Cake Day. Okay, so sponge cake is great, right? But in my world, sponge cake, I hear the words, and right away I cry, I love. You say, why? What's the matter with you? First of all, my mother was a great baker, and she made stuff. Now you got to understand, I'm 72 chronologically. So when I'm growing up, people actually made things in their kitchen. Oh my gosh, with ingredients. And yes, and she loved doing it, and she was really good at it. And she would sing while she was making stuff, especially confectionery, like cakes and cookies and things like. We always had people over our house. I always wonder why I really wanted to come to our house. Well, duh, it wasn't because of me and my personality. It was my mother and her baking. Okay. So when I think it was 19, and I was sort of looking what I was going to do next, and I decided I'm going to drive a taxi cab in the place I grew up. I grew up in a town just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, called Brookline. Brookline, not Brooklyn, Brookline. It's a very wonderful, upscale, very wealthy place, but which, by the way, had a lot of interesting people because it was an amalgam of very successful people. In other words, if you were successful in life, you would live there. It doesn't matter what your color, your background, Asians, Black, just a lot of people, but people who did very well. So we lived there. We did less well, but we lived there. The point is that I drove a taxi cab in Brookline for, I think, 8 months or something like that. And there was one particular account that this taxi cab company, they gave to me, and it was driving this little boy, I think was 8 years old, maybe 9. I picked him up in the morning, and I drove him to the special school he went to. I picked him up in the afternoon. So it was nice. I had a fare going back and forth. By the way, everybody listening, there was no such thing as Uber. It didn't exist. You know, didn't have cell phones. It just to put things in a little perspective. So the kids in the car, and he wasn't very talkative. I try to talk to him, and he would just say things every once in a while. He would oftentimes just say, sponge cake, sponge cake. Okay, fine. One day I'm picking him up, maybe this is the 10th, 12th, 15th time picking him up, And he's saying again, sponge cake, sponge cake. So I finally got the hint. And when I went home that day, I mentioned to my mother, because she made a great sponge cake. I mean, great sponge cake. I said, you know, this kid, he said sponge cake. And she said, I'm baking a sponge cake. Okay, you pick him up tomorrow? I'm making a sponge cake. Great. So go to the car, pick him up, bring him back home. And I walk him in and I knock on the door and I see his mother. I say, hello. And I said, by the way, he's been saying sponge cake a lot. So my mother baked him a sponge cake. The mother started crying. I mean, I'm crying just thinking about it. And she says, come into the house. Come to the house, sit down. Again, this kid is so sweet, precious, nice little boy. And she says, my son has a particularly rare situation. By the way, you got to remember, this is what, 50 plus years ago. He's something called autistic. Okay, doesn't speak very much, or relates to a certain focus thing. Sponge cake was his dog.
Oh.
The dog died that day.
Mm.
The day I brought the sponge cake. He was always asking about sponge cake. That particular day, he mentioned more. Sponge cake died that morning.
Mm.
My mother baked a sponge cake for the kids. You didn't know him. We did it because that's who my mother was. My mother was a channel of goodness. She's a cog. That's what we all want to be, a channel of goodness. I grew up with that. So Julianne, when you asked the question, okay, I had an advantage. I had a privilege. Yes. And it was that I had a model, a role model. So I was speaking on the stage, National Geographic headquarters. Big gig, right? Washington, D.C. I'm giving a keynote address, hundreds of people in the audience. I'm telling over the story of Barry Shore being paralyzed, you know, up in the morning, healthy and hearty, being paralyzed. I, thank God, I've been very successful in business. I have a wonderful wife, son, now married with 2 grandkids. I mean, all the trappings of success, and paralyzed. Now what do you do with your life? And thank God I was there, because I had just built a very powerful new machine which enables people to give money to their favorite cause at very little cost or no cost. It was a very interesting gig. The point is, I had questions from the audience afterwards. And one of the questions was from a young guy, actually. I think he was 18, 17. He said, okay, great story. Where did you get the strength to get through this?
Yeah.
Because now I'm up on stage. Remember, somebody had to help me walk up the stairs onto the stage. And I walked, Captain, do me a big favor. Can you hand me the walking wand, please? I'll show you. So I walk with this great 6.5-foot walking wand that I mentioned to you. And I get on the stage. I can't stand at a podium, so I'm sitting. And I have these beautiful, I'm into socks, by the way. And I have these great socks. So everybody's looking at my socks and digging it. But the point was, you can't even see the whole, this is my walking wand, right? Can't, 6.5 foot, but this is what I walk with. Now I'm happy, because if I didn't have it, I'm not walking. So I'm up on stage and I'm speaking and I'm going through the whole gig, and people are like, where'd you get? And then I told the story of my mother. I didn't tell a sponge cake story, but the ability to have someone in your life that models what it means to live in joy, happiness, peace, and love. Hey, Mikey, you have your father, Mikey, right? Your father's a great guy, isn't he?
Sometimes.
Stop it.
I know. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, yeah.
Right. The point is that if we don't know somebody, find somebody. You like Barry Shore, you want to see the videos on YouTube, great. If you can't meet in person, because right now, but whoever, find a model that you can utilize, that can enable you. Remember, this show is only about you, YOU. We only care about you being the best you, because when you're the best you, you're going to make the world a better place. And the reality is, if you listen to these aha moments, you have a couple already, practical tips and tools you can do for the rest of your life, and you keep doing them, guess what? You make the world a better place. You will be healthier, wealthier, and wiser. What a wonderful gig, huh? I like that, Julianne. That was the answer.
That was fabulous. We are running out of time. Is there anything else that you would love to leave with the audience before we wrap up?
Yes. Do I have 3 minutes or 4 minutes?
You have 4.
4. Thank you. Time, you said. Time is another great acronym, stands for thoughtful insights meaningfully expressed. Take your time in life. It's so precious. You never know what's going to happen. I was standing up in the morning, hale and hearty. I'm paralyzed in the evening. Now, nobody wants it. You never know what's going to happen. COVID, who knew was coming? Lockdown. Okay. But my sharing with people is the following. You cannot fail. You cannot fail. You can only fail if you give up. Never give up. Never, 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 never give up. We share with everybody the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1, your life has purpose. Purpose-driven life leads you to number 2. You can go mad. Mad's great because it means make a difference. When your thinking is in goodness, your speech is in goodness, your deeds are in goodness, and you're going to make a difference. Number 3, unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms like we talked about. WWW, what a wonderful world. Smile, seeing miracles in life every day, or seeing miracles everyday life. Create, causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. Thank you. To harmonize and network, kindness, at least 3 times a day. Conscious and conscientious, use 4-letter words, right? Live, love, give, hope, grow, free. Think of your own. And then say F you to everybody, but add capital N, capital N. So Julianne and Mikey, again, my sincerest thank you to you. I'd like to leave everybody with a blessing. And the blessing is, go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad, go make a difference.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was so positive and so powerful. We really enjoyed having you.
Absolutely.
Woo! Julianne, Mikey, can I give you a big hug? You ready? In front of
Absolutely.
everybody? 1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
Yes.